people can take an idea. They take an idea and they run with it and they make something. And that's magic.
Well, I have thought about this kind of a festival for Shuswap Theatre for years and years and years. Came up in discussion with board members for a while. Yeah, this is a great idea, but it's like many projects, needs somebody to grab it and go. To be honest, I don't totally remember what turned that we said, yeah, we're doing it. And we hired Jackie Mativier and then have not looked back.
The group of people that came together to talk about it were really enthusiastic and really excited, and I loved that feeling in the room. I'd just come off managing Runaway Moon Theatre for 5 years, and I thought, this is something that I could take on. I know I could make this happen, and so I sort of said to them, look, I propose that you pay me to be a coordinator, and that I would make this happen.
We wanted to bring more artists into town. We wanted to introduce our audiences to different kinds of theatre experiences than they normally had a chance to do.
Some people complained because they thought it was a little too risque, but we managed to get around that by advertising, saying it might be.
We thought of it as a little fringe theatre, but of course we soon discovered that we can't use the term fringe festival without being a part of the organization and paying the fees. And we didn't really want to be another fringe theatre.
I wanted to try and create something that was going to enlarge the audience, and so maybe attract younger people and do theatre that people didn't have a chance to see during the regular season here in the Shuswap.
So I think we always had really big expectations for Tote, like way bigger than really happened, but that's okay, because you got to dream large, you got to dream big, you know.
It's not just putting on the theatre, it's not just like inside the house. It's the whole experience, it's the atmosphere. Everybody is so supportive and so behind the performers.
Coming from Richmond, Vancouver, getting to head out to Salmon Arm in person, and just a wonderful experience. Ah, yes, here's Interior Paradise. Right, yes, wonderful.
I mean, from my perspective as a performer, your audience base is so solid. You have so many people who show up and not just show up to see the show that they heard was good, but they'll show up and see everything and give it a chance.
And if you're doing a big show, there'll be some actors where the moment the show's done, they slip out the back door. And I'm the one who goes into the lobby to be like, hello everyone, thank you for coming to our show. I'm really happy you were here. Please, let's interact.
In between shows, go out, you have a drink if you want, you listen to some live music, you talk about the show, you probably have a chance to meet the performer, and then, then you go in and see the next one, right? Repeat.
After years of working this festival and seeing how it was becoming more complex and growing and adding pieces like the Edge Club where we had live music between shows, it became really obvious really quickly, honestly, that it wasn't enough for just one person to do it. We needed to add more pieces to the team, more people.
They had actually asked me the year before to take on the job, and I thought, it's a lot of work. I don't think I want to do that. And so they found someone else, and I said, I can do this part here. I'd love to be able to play with what the artists are bringing in and work on the overall image of the festival, but I'm going to need help. I looked over at my buddy, sound guy, technician, Marcus, and he and I, of course, he and I have worked together on this festival from day one, and those conversations about what this festival could be had been flowing back and forth. Not only what it could be, I mean, how much it meant.
Beginning of 2020 actually saw us forming a new executive that actually started to look to building the festival bigger and finding new venues and adding extended hours and having comedy nights. And we actually had even plans to get a new musical director. That didn't f***ing work, did it?
Pivot away, pivot away, pivot away now.
I think it's great as a temporary or as an adjunct. I've often thought that would be an interesting, talk about another stage, to have another stage be the digital platform.
The arts are all about energy. And so if you let it all fizzle out and say, oh, well, we can't do what we normally do, so we won't do anything, that's just, that's wimpy.
We knew this was going to be difficult, but what do creative people do? We create. We solve problems. It's not really that different from a normal theater festival, honestly. We just took it online this year. It's new, but this is what we do.
Normally I would go premiere a brand new show like in the back room of the Heritage Grill at Way Off Broadway Wednesday, or I would take it, to the Regina Fringe for 5 shows that only 8 people would attend on average each one, and like grease the wheels a bit. But in this instance, it was the first ever performance because there was no other way around it. And I could, in theory, invite everyone I know, It's terrifying.
Frankly, we wanted to carry on the actual intention of the festival, which is connecting artists with audiences and other artists. That's the whole point of the thing.
With this new format is really exciting to me. I'm amazed at the diversity that you can get and still call theater.
It'll never replace live theater, and I don't want it to, but it will add. It's an addition.
I'm a big fan of live theater, and I think that will always be the core of what Tote is and what Tote does. There's no substitute, but there's also no reason you can't supplement that. I think this whole period of being forced to pivot is somehow going to pay dividends in the future.
There was one thing that we really came together on, and it was the decision that we needed to make sure that there was more theater for everyone.